Hey, it's your man StyleCon coming at you today with another video. Today I'm smoking on an Alec Bradley Nicopuro Rosado. This thing is pretty tasty. If you're into cigars, I'd recommend giving them a try. Now let's get into today's topic of discussion. And this one's going to be a serious one. And needless to say, it needs to be said. Now in my last video I did mention that I jumped the shark and I went out and bought a smartwatch. Now today's video is going to be about why the smartwatch will more than likely take over the mid-tier mechanical watches like the Omegas of the world, the Rolexes, and if they don't overtake them, they will probably put a major hurting on them. Now let's get into this video. Now let's start off with the basics. Why did I decide to buy a smartwatch? Give a little shout out to my buddy Eric. He works at the tobacco company. His wife one day came in, she had a smartwatch on, a Motorola, I forget the name of it, and we got to talking about it and it perked my interest. Then lo and behold, I go to Radcliffe. I'm looking at some new watches. There's a gentleman in there. I noticed he had a smartwatch on and he had about 3 or 4 different Breitlings with him. And you know, I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to trade those in and get something, you know, nicer. So I went over, I just started chit-chatting with the guy, and it's like, hey, why are you getting rid of all your Breitlings? What are you getting? He's like, oh, I'm not getting anything. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, no. He said, I'm selling them. It's like, you're selling them? He's like, yeah. He said, since I bought this smartwatch, he said, I don't even wear these things anymore. And that struck me as like, what? You know, you're getting rid of all your Breitlings so you can wear this Apple Watch. And he's like, yeah. He said, I just don't use them anymore. So all right, so like, let me give it a try. Now, my big thing is stop calling them smartwatches. If anybody out there is in, you know, the smartwatch game, maybe Samsung, Apple, or whoever it may be, don't call them smartwatches because they're truly not a watch. Now, I consider them to be a wrist PDA, so personal data assistant. And I have to be honest, since I've got this thing, this has been amazing. I mean, I can take phone calls on it, I can answer text messages, emails on it. It has made my life so much easier. And those of you people out there that may not be on this kick, because I've watched a couple of YouTubers and they tried them out there like, this isn't for me. It may not be for everyone, and I'm not going to say that it is. But for me personally, I thoroughly enjoyed. This is some James Bond shit. You know, this is something that he would wear. You know, this is Dick Tracy stuff. You know, growing up as a kid, you know, you're checking Dick Tracy talking on his watch. Now you can actually do it. Now, I'm going to give you some reasons why I think the smartwatch will overtake some of these brands. And basically, it's just the technology. I mean, I'm going to date myself on some of this stuff I'm going to say, but when I was younger, when you had a garage door, you literally had to get out of your car, unlock it, open up the door. Then once you got in, you know, your garage, you had to shut the door and lock it again. Nowadays, just a push of the button, you know, you're in your garage, push the button again, the door comes down. That just makes your life so much more convenient, especially if you live in a cold climate area. Leather seats in your car. My father was a big fan of Cadillacs and Oldsmobiles. That's all you ever owned when I was growing up. And back in the day, they had leather seats, and I couldn't stand it. I used to love cloth seats. I mean, they had no heating, there is no cooling like there is nowadays. Leather has come a long way in that department, but if it was hot and you got in your car, those leather seats were stinking hot and you'd stick to them. In the wintertime, they were so freaking cold, it's like, give me cloth. Let's pass on that deal. And then back in the day, I used to sell pagers. And needless to say, we thought when the cell technology first started coming out, it's like, this isn't going to be a big deal. They're not going to overtake us. Cells were considered the annoying technology. You know, you're out and about, you're trying to eat your meal, somebody whips out their cell phone, you know, you're at a movie theater, you know, you're at a cash register. Now people whip out their phones. Now it's become normal, but back then it was considered the annoying technology. And look what cell phones have done. They have grown. Pagers are dead. Think about it. CDs. DVDs. Who really buys them anymore? The CD industry is pretty much dead. Everybody's streaming music. So needless to say, some of these companies, and as like these watch brands grow, actually, like I said, I should stop calling them watch brands, but like the Apple Watches of the world, the Samsung watch of the world. They grow and they get more apps, and you can do things. Like with this thing, like I said, I can take cell phone calls, I can check out my emails, I can receive emails, I can send emails. It is just making my life so much easier. I don't have to whip out my phone. It's kind of chilly here right now. It's probably about 40 degrees now. My boys are swelling up and my nips are starting to get hard, but guess what? I'm out here trying to do this video for you people out there watching it. And with that, this has just made everything so much more convenient. I don't have to pull my cell phone out right now. You call me, boom, I can check it out. I have my cell phone in my backpack. I don't have to pull it out. I can respond immediately. And it's not just that. When they come out with more apps to do certain things, Samsung has come out with an app that it can remotely start your car. So you don't have to pull out your keys. You just pull the app up on your watch, boom, start your car, and you're ready to go. So I see one day, now this is Nostracon talking, not today, not tomorrow, not a year or two, but maybe 4 or 5, 10 years down the line, these things will eventually take over traditional watches because they will make your life that much more easy and more convenient. So these watch brands that are jumping into it, I've seen Alpina's got a new smart watch, obviously Mont Blanc's doing it. I can see more of these brands jumping on the bandwagon because that's the only way they're going to save themselves. Once again, it's your man StyleCon. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, leave them down below. And please leave a comment because this is truly a topic for discussion. Because since the quartz crisis era, there's never been a bigger threat, especially coming from somebody who's collected watches like me for the last 30 years, than something like this, because I haven't worn my watches since I got it. All right, I'll check you out in the next video.